Welcome to the Free Spirit Woman podcast. I'm Rechelle, your host and intuitive truth teller and doTERRA leader in the Free Spirit Oil Tribe. Join me and my inspiring guests as we share stories, weave magic, and give intuitive insight into what it takes to be a free spirit woman. Courageously growing your oil business, turning your fear of network marketing into your fuel, and unleash your magic to the world unapologetically. Let's do it! Kendall is a modern-day priestess, leader of WomanKind Tribe, a speaker and a transformational coach mentor for leaders, light workers, and change makers. She lovingly helps women transform their lives, find their flow, let go of blockages, and all that is keeping them stuck in negative and unfulfilling patterns. In doing so, you awaken to your brightest and truest self and live the life of your dreams. Hello, Jo.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being my first interview today. How are you?
I am really well, and thank you so much for having me on here.
Oh, my pleasure. I was so excited to make you the first one on Free Spirit Woman podcast. How exciting.
Me too.
But so nerve-wracking too, being that it's my first. But I'm so excited to explore the Free Spirit Woman within you, Jo. How are you feeling? Good about this?
Yes, feeling good.
All right, well, we might as well just get started, Jo, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so just so everyone knows, it's only going to be about a 30-minute podcast. And yeah, let's just get straight into it, what we want to chat about.
Awesome.
Okay, so the first question is, Jo, how do you stay true to you, living unapologetically in your life?
Yeah. Okay.
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
Yeah,
it's an excellent question. So
take your time, that's fine.
I think particularly working for myself and my work, I'm so very passionate about the work that I do, and I always have been really passionate about my work and my businesses. And it's really called me to be more and more of myself. So I've come to know that the more, and I know this is the same for everyone, the more that we can just be ourselves and live from that place, the smoother everything is and the better everything feels and everything flows so beautifully. So it's about kind of coming to that place where you discover who you are and you uncover those parts of what makes you tick and how you operate best and all of those, what lights you up. And then once we've got that, it's then working and bringing in that courage and that bravery to actually stand in that. And that's where that being unapologetic about it comes into it. It's like, this is who I am, and this is the place that I'll move from. And it's just really kind of being sovereign in that and owning that, not apologizing for ourselves or,
yes,
you know, not making like, oh, I need to be this way for that person, or I need to do this to make that person comfortable, or what have you. It's just really standing in your truth and moving from that place.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And just so I can expand on that question, so as just for the listeners to sort of dig deep, because we all, I believe, struggle with this. It's been one of my biggest of struggles. Hence why the whole brand is around living unapologetically. And I still do quite a lot in my own life, but I'm working through it, as you say, and it's about really standing in your truth. But what I want to say to you is when these parts of you arise, so say you've met someone new or you're trying something different or you're heading down a different path and got to make a different turn in your life. So say, for instance, you've got people in your life that ain't supportive of you making changes and you're going down a different direction, and you've got these people in your life that have been there for quite some time and you've chose that new direction, you know, and you want to stay true to yourself, but it is that new direction. How do you get to that place of saying, well, this is who I am, and although I've even changed direction in where I'm heading, but then people are anti that, if that makes sense, friends, family.
Sure.
How do you go about that if that has occurred?
Yeah. So firstly, I think it's not about them. It's about you. Like, it's about us.
Yeah.
So the issues or them feeling uncomfortable about me moving in a new direction that feels really aligned, that's not my stuff. That's their stuff and potentially me moving into more of who I am and becoming, even more of myself that may, kind of look like I'm going down a new path or anything like that, and have new interests and be trying new things that feel really aligned. If that triggers other people, that's their trigger, not mine. And that's not, of course, not to say you're like, I don't care about you being triggered by me doing this. It's, yes, being compassionate and acknowledging that you living in this way and stepping into your truth is probably highlighting how they're not living in theirs.
Yes.
And whatever's going on for them, you can be there for them, but don't let that stop you from your path and from moving into who you are. We have to remain connected to that and keep that so that we can continue to really be who we are and live life from that kind of full spectrum of ourselves. Does that make sense?
And yeah, that makes total sense. And I love what you're saying. And so do you feel, Jo, for you, is it all about that self-belief, that self-worth? Do you feel that we explore that part of us when we are taking that different turn, that different direction, when we're going through that part of our life? Like if there's a massive change within you, do you feel that it is the self-belief and self-worth that plays a massive role in that?
Yeah,
or
definitely. Yes, I do. So I think when we, those feelings of like, oh, there's more to life and I'm not being who I really am, who am I? And then when we start to like discover that and reconnect into those parts of ourselves that felt lost for a really long time, it's really beautiful and exciting to find that and to start to feel like ourselves again. But then what comes into play then is that self-worth, and you need to feel worthy and you need to have the conviction to then live from that place. And that's where I think people get tripped up. We can know a lot about ourselves, but actually living that takes a lot of courage.
Oh, yes. Ooh, that was a good one. That just touched a big chord. Yeah, and that's actually, it's funny when you just said that, then I just felt that huge, real big part of me come up and go. And courage is another element. It's another part of us. And just so I can expand on that bit that you just said then, Jo, sorry to.
That's fine.
But courage, right? Okay, so I see courage as doing it anyway, even though you're absolutely scared shitless.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Because a lot of women will say, oh, I haven't got the courage or I haven't got the confidence. Yeah. And I hear that so commonly.
Definitely.
I'm not confident. But to step into that is really just a choice, really, because you're going to feel that anyway, aren't you? Do you believe?
Definitely. Like I say regularly, courage before confidence. We don't ever start anything in our life being confident. Never have we, even when we were little kids and we were learning how to ride bikes, we didn't approach that bike being like, I'm really confident riding a bike. We had to have the courage of not knowing how to do this and feeling kind of scared and feeling awkward and having training wheels. And that's like life. We don't ever, something that's new, we don't walk into that feeling confident. It's through being courageous and having the courage to feel uncomfortable and having the courage to not know what you're doing and be a beginner. And it's through having that courage that we build confidence. It's not the other way around. We don't just be like, oh, I'm really confident to do this now. We build confidence is something that we build, and it grows and expands as we show up for ourselves and the things that we're called to do.
Oh, I love all that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you so much. That was so good. So thank you for answering that first one, Jo.
Pleasure.
Okay, so living a free spirit woman within, right? So the free spirit woman, I believe, is within us, okay? And she is explored in a different way for all of us. Sure. But for me, it's all about living unapologetically, living with your truth, getting unstuck, even though you've been in the pain and you've had et cetera, happen in your life, but you've still chose to still be a free spirit woman within, right? Mm-hmm. So how would that feel to you if you're living that way?
Sure.
Right? And how would it be perceived into the world if someone was to look at you and go, oh my God, she's really living that way? Like, well, how would it feel for you first, and then how would it be perceived to others?
Sure.
If you can answer that for me.
So I think for me, a free spirit woman is, I'm very much on the same kind of path as you. It's
Absolutely
living my truth.
Yeah.
And showing up
Yes.
in the world as my full vibration. So that is owning all parts of myself and really honoring myself and what works for me and what I'm called to do, and, you know, showing up even when things are uncomfortable and all of those kinds of things.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it is definitely a feeling. So we know when we're connected to that part of ourselves. And it's that place where the doubts and all of that kind of stuff just disappear because we're just connected to our highest self, like who we really are. And that just feels really beautiful. Even when we're being stretched in those moments and stuff.
Yes.
We still know when we're aligned with her. We still know when we're connected with her. And we also know when we're disconnected.
Totally.
I do find it challenging to put that into exact words to make that really, so it's really easy to understand, because I do feel like it's just something that we feel within ourselves and within our bodies and our beings.
Yes.
And I think in regards to how other people would perceive somebody living that free spirit woman lifestyle, I believe that it's the woman who is like devoted to her truth, to herself, to being that full vibration. And I keep coming back to that because I truly believe that when we're all living as our truth, when we are living, you know, it's that highest vibration of who we really are. And I believe that when we're all living at that, you know, as our highest selves, and we're like living as our brightest, most beautiful selves, that is what really impacts the world beautifully. Like if we're diluting ourselves and diluting our truth and trying to fit in, then our vibration's totally different and it's diluted, and it's not. If you kind of imagine a song, the song wouldn't sound as beautiful if everybody wasn't like playing the chords or how they were meant to. The song wouldn't be the same. So I feel like that about life. The more we can show up and live as ourselves, whatever that means for you, and it will be different to everybody. Like freedom is going to mean so many different things.
Totally.
While some of the parts may be the same, when we actually paint that picture, there's going to be different images, you know. It's going to be like, well,
absolutely.
But it's having, again, the courage to be like, this is mine and this is what I'm going to do. And I think you can, again, I think you can feel that. And that may sound really woo-woo and it might not be a direct answer, but that's what in my body right now, I'm like, that's the best way that I can word that. Is it something that I feel? And you can feel when you are somebody who's connected in with who you are and you live from that place, you can feel that in others.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes, 100%. No, I love how you describe, and it's not woo-woo. That's how it feels for you.
Yeah.
And some people can describe it totally different to other people. And I love that you're talking about the way we feel in our body and, you know, how we show up and so forth. Yeah, I was just really listening to all that. That was just beautiful. So thank you. Now, so this is a really good one because I truly believe that me working with people who want to create that free spirit women within themselves, this plays a big part of it. So I don't know whether you've had you don't have to share this, but this is just something that I really did want to explore, is if there was a challenging time in your life where you felt stuck or confused or lost or, you know, in some sort of, not a rut, but like you're stuck, right? You're stuck. And however that felt like to you, how did you claim, like what did you have to do? It can even be things like things or tools and stuff that you had to do to get back your power within Jo.
Sure.
Have you ever, would you be able to answer that?
So of course, like I have felt all of these things. I have felt pain and felt lost and confused and all of that, you know, we're human. We all feel those things. Right. And we all have challenging times and all of that kind of stuff. So definitely.
Yes.
And I think there's a few things that I do. So one of them is that I've noticed whenever I'm going through any kind of challenging time is I automatically become really grateful. So this is not something that I work to do. I become super grateful for the people like around me that I feel I can open up to and be completely raw and real in those times. And I will often just message them and be like, thank you so much for just being somebody so beautiful in my life that while I am feeling so hurt and so lost and all of those things right now, I know I can reach out and I can just be how I am. And that's such a gift. And I feel that gift of that person.
Mm.
And I really strip things back to basics, which is something my mom taught me. She's like, in those times, you've just got to get back to the basics of life. So I do that. I just will look at my life and be like, what can I kind of say no to? What can I put on hold? What can I move around right now so I can really just bring it back to the basics, which is really, when you think about that, it's kind of bringing everything back to that feeling safe, like that base chakra stuff, like that foundational.
Yes.
How can I really just bring everything back so that my foundation right now feels really solid and beautiful? Because quite often in those times, things feel really shaky.
Oh,
We
yes,
don't
totally.
feel like we're standing on solid ground. So
Oh, I
things
love
like
that.
making sure you've got time. This sounds crazy, but making sure you've got time to go and get groceries, or that your home is clean and tidy, and you're just doing those little bits and pieces that really can make a big difference. And just
Yes.
stripping life back to basics. I think acknowledging where you are and the feelings that you're feeling, let yourself feel the feelings. If you need to feel really sad, feel really sad. If you need to
Yes.
grieve, grieve. Allow yourself to move through and
Yeah.
feel those things, and don't try to not feel them. That's just going to make it worse. And then I also think another thing that I think or feel when I'm stuck is maybe I'm feeling really resistant, or there's things that are scaring me. I will think, if I don't move through this, this is really scaring me, or it's making me really uncomfortable or whatever. I'm like, if I don't move through this and become more of who I'm meant to be and live my life and all of those kinds of things, what's the alternative? And when I got really clear on that, I'm like, the alternative for me is, if I don't move those things, through those things, then I felt I would, instead of moving more into myself, I felt like I would move more further away
Yes.
from her.
Almost fighting the pain, the sadness. You almost wanting to
Yeah.
go against it. Yes, totally.
And if I don't kind of move through, allow myself to feel scared and, all of those things, to step into who I'm meant to be, then I honestly just felt like I was become really disconnected from my truth. And if I don't live and do the things that I really feel I'm here to do and how I'm meant to live, if I don't get to be her, then that just feels really, really sad. I nearly just swore then.
Oh, that's all right.
That just
No, please.
that just feels really sad, and I feel like I would end up a shell of myself. So that, while that's quite extreme, it's like I either live with the pain of discomfort and move through that discomfort as I move into more of myself, or I live with the pain of never becoming who I'm meant to be. I know what pain I choose, I know what discomfort I choose here. It's always going to be moving into more of myself and living in that place.
And I think, as you're saying all that too, being a free spirit woman within understands the parts of her that she needs to do when she's in these challenging times.
That's right.
Like, you've basically explained exactly how you take on board when you are going through that stuff, and you understand yourself.
Yeah.
So the free spirit woman understands that she's going to have those times, and she knows how to deal with them, and she understands a body when a body's talking to her.
Yeah.
Or, she knows what's going on. She knows when things ain't right or feeling right, and what she needs to do to come back
That's right.
within to herself.
Yeah. She's listening. She's always listening. And that's in the good times and the bad, I feel.
Exactly.
It's that in the not so great times, she's listening then. And if that's, she's just like, life is saying, you need time out. You need to just hang around at home and be in comfortable clothes for the next few days and just really come back into yourself, because, these things ain't feeling aligned right now. Then she just does that. She just does that. She just does that. She doesn't try to push on or soldier on or any of those things. That's just not part of her.
Yes, I love that. Yes.
It's in service of where there will be times where we are called to, it's like now she may get to a time where it's like things are really amping up, and she's like, I really feel called to be more in action and more in the flow and really inspired right now to do those things, and the energy will feel higher. But that's because she's being called, and that feels aligned and right. Whereas if we're coming back to the challenges, she honors herself at all times, at all times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honoring herself. Yes. And all parts of her.
Yes.
Which I think is the absolute ultimate. I know for myself, I ran for a lot of years through my own stuff and my own crap I was going through, and I wasn't facing what I was really feeling. And I kept myself busy. I don't know whether I know a lot of people will stay busy in whatever that looks like for them, whether it's work, whether it's, staying busy with things that are keeping their mind away from what's really going on within themselves.
That's right. And I think for people that are in that state, it's important to acknowledge that it's just a feeling and nothing lasts forever, which is something else I tell myself when I'm in deep pain or, that kind of, it's like nothing is permanent and our feelings are as impermanent as everything else. And in fact, the sooner that you can just kind of surrender and allow yourself to feel them and move through that, then it's gone.
Exactly. Yes, I find, and that's what I've learned too. It's like the more you run, the louder she becomes.
And
that is so true.
Also not like, you don't want to go to the opposite side of like wallowing and staying stuck in the emotion either.
Yes.
But like that's not healthy. It's kind of really feeling that and allowing yourself to feel it so that you can keep flowing and moving. And
No, you've answered that. I am so grateful for that answer. That was just amazing because, and you can hear in your voice how much you're connected with your free spirit woman within. I can really feel that with you. You know, when you're going through A, B, C, D, or these type of emotions, or when your body is telling you these things and you allow yourself to accept that this is just another part, another day or another time. And it's just another one of those processes that you've got to take yourself through.
Definitely.
No, that was just beautiful. So thank you, Jo. So I do have one more last question. Then I just have 3 little power questions, which is like real quick answers.
Sure.
So the last question is, and this is one of my absolute amazing, I'm very passionate about intuition and how we can maximize that in our own lives just with our everyday. So my question is, and I love to hear how everybody uses their heart over their gut or their instinct. Some people call it instinct, some people call it spirit, some people call it God, some people call it whatever. It's whatever aligns with you. But I would love to know, Jo, how you understand which part of you is talking, because I do hear this commonly a lot from women that I've come across in my life. They'll say, how do you know the difference between your heart and your gut, or your intuition and your heart? And I express it in my way that feels, because I believe we're all different. We all feel differently. So what would be the difference in your body talking to you through those 2 different parts of you?
Sure. So for me, I don't know that they are different.
Okay, right. Yeah.
I feel that, so even with my heart and my gut, I feel.
Yes. As one, you mean, Jo?
I feel like they're one.
Okay.
I feel like, and I actually, like my heart and my gut, like I call it my heart.
Yeah. Your heart, H-U-T. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Like
right, I like that.
And gut. And
right.
Sometimes they don't, like, you might get variations, but my intuition is.
How does she feel to you when she's talking then? Maybe would that be a.
Yes. So I feel like my intuition is my highest self.
Okay, beautiful.
And it's that connection with her, like it's connection with her.
Okay.
And it feels in my body aligned, and I'm just.
You're really feeling into it. I know it's a bit of a tricky question.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, it's not. And some people are really great at verbalizing these kinds of things, whereas I think because they're so, like, I feel them so much that I find it sometimes really challenging to put the words
in. Oh, yes.
To that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's so second nature. Like, I'm a very intuitive person, and I always have been, and it's not something that I've ever had to really question or think about or try and strengthen or anything. It's just always been there. So I think because of that, always having that.
So you pretty much believe that it's one. It's the heart and the gut. So do you call it the heart as in the two, or right?
Like the heart and gut. Like I just feels like it's come together.
Yeah, right.
And it's kind of like almost like a calm.
Yes.
It's like
yes.
that place.
Okay, beautiful. No, I love how you've put it together. And it's funny.
I think as well, like if you kind of feel into your body, you know, down into that gut, well, for us women, we've got like our womb space, and then
Yes.
that is a different energy, I think, to our heart, but I still feel like they communicate and they talk.
Okay.
And I feel like
yes.
it's that communication and them kind of working together that forms the wholeness and that deep connection with my intuition.
Wow. Well, you've just left me into another spiral now. I'm like, okay. And this is where I'm super curious how people interpret and relate to that parts of themselves, because I have people all the time say to me, well, how do you know the difference? Because, you know, when they go, oh, really? Like, I mean, everyone talks about gut instinct more than they do intuition. I feel that people will say to you, and this is off the charts, the questions, but it leads me to, with what you've just said, people think that intuition is a skill.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it's a skill.
No.
I just believe that if you are open enough to receive and accept that this is another part of our body, this is another part of our human self, instead of going, how do I learn this? How do I know that it's talking, and start to question it? Because I think we do too much questioning when it comes to our intuition or our heart. You call it the heart.
Yeah.
But for me, it's, you know how they talk about the clairsentiences, like all that, you know, we hear, we feel, we know, see. But for me, I just believe that if we trust and we stop questioning our answers and what is coming through for us, that it will become, you'll just accept that this is a part of us instead of trying to understand that part of ourselves. And
That's
then
right.
you've just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't feel that it's something that we can
That's what I'm trying to say.
explain with logic. Like it's,
yes, that's it.
it's not when we get that kind of logical, analytical
yes, that's
part
so
of
true.
ourselves involved. We'll always struggle to understand and pinpoint it down. And I think that's one of the reasons why I personally struggle to explain it, because it's something like I can put language around it. The language only does it so much justice. Like words will only ever do it so much justice. It's so much more. I can just feel it really strongly. And
so you get a strong knowing, Jo? Like, is yours more of a knowing? Yeah, right.
And I also get like, you know, messages and,
of course,
you know, thoughts and all of that kind of stuff as well. But it's like, it's just a guidance system.
It is.
It's not, I feel that you're very right in that it's not, it's there within us. It's not something that we can go and do like read this book to be intuitive. I don't really, like, maybe if it can help to open you up and start to trust yourself and live from that place and really just tap into that inner guidance. But I feel that's always there. That it certainly is for me anyway. And like I said, I've always been intuitive. I've always felt things. I've always kind of just known things that didn't really make any sense, and I've never really questioned it.
No, and I love that. You've perfectly described it to me for you. And I'm just super curious how we all perceive the difference. And that's what I want the listeners to understand, because I think too, so many people think that it's one way. It's one type. And I think, as we've just said, it's different for everybody.
Totally.
So that's what I just wanted to help people with, is it's different for all of us. But if you just trust that part of you, whatever that looks like for you, and go with that. But anyway, thank you for answering that last question, Jo.
Pleasure.
Now, these are the little quick flicks. Just, I don't know, I'll just come up with a few of these little things.
Do it.
So if you could describe a free spirit woman in one word, so just one word, what that would be for a free spirit woman, what would that be, Jo?
Awesome. So is that for me, my free spirit woman? Or
your free spirit woman within, absolutely.
Okay, so my free spirit woman, my one word would be grace.
Grace. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Okay, and for you, what would describe, this is probably a tricky one. You might not have the answer, but I'm going to just ask you anyway. So a free spirit woman book. So giving all the questions that we've covered and our listeners like to read, what would be a book that would help women to live in their truth and be true to them and live unapologetically and to follow their intuition and who they are as a person? Is there a book that has helped you along your way, or some other,
There's
I don't know.
So many good books.
So I know I'll put you on the spot. I'm reading, sorry, Jo. I tell you, I'm reading a really good book at the moment while you have a feel into it. Okay. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a...
Oh, my gosh. I love Mark Manson. How good is he?
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's incredible. Okay, so I'll just go with the book that I read most recently, because otherwise we will literally just be here forever.
Yes, I know. No, we've got to keep this short.
So I just read and I'm about to reread is Braving the Wilderness by Brené Brown.
Oh, I've heard about this one. Yes.
Anything by Brené Brown is amazing. Truly, truly amazing. And another book just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That I think is really beautiful and so relatable and just speaks to your heart is High by Tara Bliss.
Oh, it's beautiful. I haven't read neither of those books, so I'm going to be getting them. Oh my God. Okay.
The audio book by Tara is amazing. She speaks, so you get to listen to her voice.
Beautiful.
Really, really nice. So it's a good, excellent book.
Well, I love those. So thank you for those last little tweaks. Now, Jo, thank you for all those amazing answers that you just gave me. I'm really, truly blessed to be able to connect with you this way and for you to say yes to me on my podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And you held me in these nerves too as well, because I was very nervous. But I do have one little thing I just want to, if you wouldn't mind sharing with everybody, how if they love the way anything about you and they loved your vibe and would love to know more about you, how they can find you.
Sure.
How would they find you and how would they get to know more about you? Yeah.
Awesome. So I love connecting.
Yes.
My website is jokendall.com.
Yes.
And you can find me on Facebook as well.
Yes.
And Instagram.
All under Jo Kendall.
I think my handle is Jo.
Yep.
Yes, all under Jo Kendall and you'll find me.
Okay.
Jo_Kendall for Instagram. Yeah, please reach out anytime. Always up for a chat.
Lovely.
I'd love to connect. I'm a coach and a mentor and I lead WomanKind Tribe, which is beautiful doTERRA essential oils, women living and earning in a completely beautiful new way that helps them to be free spirit woman and really step into that. So
yes, I love that, Jo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Jo.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my absolute pleasure, and I just loved all of our conversation just then. It was truly amazing. So thank you, Jo. And I reckon I'll be getting you back in again soon too, Jo.
I'd love that. I'd love that.
Well, thank you very much, beautiful.
Thank you.
Bye, Jo. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Free Spirit Woman podcast. As always, if you love what you heard, please head on over to iTunes and leave me a review. In between episodes, you can connect with me online at freespiritwoman.com.au. See you next time.